everybody, I'm Dave Borden with Rent Screener. I'm going to talk about the steps that go into effective tenant screening, starting with determining an applicant's credit worthiness. Now, there are several factors that go into tenant screening, but this is clearly the most important. Credit history is the single biggest factor in determining the risk involved in renting to a potential tenant. A consistent record of paying one's debts is an accurate measure of their care and concern regarding their financial reputation. To determine creditworthiness, property managers, and usually there's a 100-unit minimum, can apply with the major credit bureaus to gain access to a prospective tenant's credit reports with the tenant's permission. Property managers can then use this data to determine the probability that a tenant will fulfill the obligations of the lease. Now, of the three credit bureaus, Transunion, Equifax, and Experian, it is our opinion at the time of this video that Transunion has made the biggest investment in creating a model specific to the rental industry. Their resident score employs millions of records to predict a tenant's probability of fulfilling their rental obligations based on their score. This is the single most effective tool in determining the probability of someone paying their rent. Other variations of FICO scores and financial modeling, those only predict an applicant's probability of paying their general bills. And as a landlord, you're most concerned with whether or not they're going to pay their rent. For individual landlords and smaller property managers, this information can be difficult to obtain. The credit bureaus will not approve individuals, small property managers with less than 100 units, or those that manage their businesses out of their homes. They won't allow them to obtain consumer credit reports. This means that these parties must find a way to obtain the necessary information to make these decisions. Now, there are a number of third-party services, including Rent Screener, that can give landlords information to make a better decision, but they can't actually provide the credit report to an individual landlord that hasn't been approved to review that information. Now, the key is determining the probability of the tenant paying the rent and determining the risk associated with extending credit to each applicant. A lease is nothing more than an extension of credit, and you have to determine whether or not that tenant's going to pay you. But you also have the added burden of figuring out whether or not they're going to destroy your home. Now, once a property manager knows which score thresholds translate to which probabilities they are comfortable with, they can create a tenant screening policy that they can use to power their tenancy decisions. So if you know the probability that someone's going to default on a risk based on a certain score, going to default on a lease based on a certain score, you can figure out what probability you're comfortable with. Now, no model can eliminate all risk. Sometimes even the most qualified applicants go through issues. They get divorced, they file bankruptcy, they lose their job, that kind of thing, and they don't pay their rent. But the key is to understand the risk involved in renting to every applicant and making a decision based on that risk. The more good decisions you make, the less heartache you're going to have with your tenants. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can reach me at dave@rentscreener.com. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.